Philadelphia Phillies have officially signed JT Realmuto again to a 5-year, $115.5 million deal. Um, this comes after he turned down a 1-year deal. I believe it was worth 18.9 million. Yeah, it was worth basically 19 million dollars. Because he seeked a bigger contract, and that's what this is now. He will be averaging $23.1 million annually, which is the highest for a catcher in Major League history. He is just the third catcher. He's a third catcher in Major League history to sign $100 million contract, joining Joe Mauer when he had an 8-year, $184 million extension with the Twins in 2010, and Buster Posey with a 9-year, $167 million extension with the San Francisco Giants in 2013. And GT Realmuto is also the first catcher to sign a contract worth over $100 million in free agency. As for his stats in 2020, he was hitting .266 with 11 homers and 32 ribbies, which isn't bad, but like it's not at the top of the chain either. But what is on the top of the chain is ever since 2018, he led all of MLB catchers in WAR with 10.1, ribbies 189, and stolen bases 16, and a second in slugging percentage with a .489 and an OPS of 825, and he's hit 57 home runs during that span, which is ranks third among catchers in the MLB. And this was before I say who this was reported by, in 2019 his All-Star selection, he hit 275 with 25 home runs and 83 ribbies. And he also earned his second consecutive All-Star selection. And he also led the National League with 43 runners thrown out of his first season in Philadelphia, and he was acquired there in February 2019. This was reported by Jeff Passan of ESPN. I'll start with you first, Mario. What do you think of this great trade?
Well, first of all, congratulations to JT Realmuto on his insane extension. So basically what I heard from that is one thing that caught me was he's the first ever catcher in his MLB history to make 100 mil.
From free agency, yes. He's the third, but he's the first to make it from free agency.
Okay. So that kind of shocks me because I really do feel like you got to have, like, first of all, catcher I think is one of the most, I don't want to say aggravating, but I think it's one of the most, I don't want to say toughest neither.
Tiring is what I'd say.
Thank you. That's perfect. It's one of the most tiring positions in MLB. Think about it. You got to squat for 9 innings. You understand what I'm saying? Like it takes
over 3 hours, but the game time varies.
Right. So I mean, obviously you get those breaks when the other team goes to catch, but like that really does take a toll on your legs. Like honestly, if I were to play baseball, I could never play catcher. I just can't. I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a tiring position to play. So with that, I do believe catchers should be getting paid more in free agency than JT Realmuto being the first ever 100 million. I think now since he got paid 100 million, I think a lot of elite catchers will get paid that money. Like guys like Gary Sanchez, I believe, can get paid that money. Wilson Contreras. You can chime in and name other catchers who deserve it. So like
Christian Vasquez could deserve one too. So, not that high, but like
give it some time maybe.
Yeah.
But going on to JT Realmuto, I think he is an elite catcher. I think he is a top 3 catcher in this game. I'm being honest. I'm not. I mean, you can disagree with that, and I respect it, but I think he is a top 3 catcher in this game. I think when you look at JT Realmuto and you look at like the stuff he does a little bit of everything well. So he's a good catcher. That's A. And you see a lot of guys who are great at the hitting side of the ball, but like catching wise, it's just not it. Like we were like Gary Sanchez was getting a lot of criticism. Wilson Contreras, I think Wilson Contreras is better than JT Realmuto, but I think JT Realmuto is definitely a top 3 catcher in this league, without a doubt. And it proves it with the salary he's given. The Phillies know that they got themselves a great player here. I mean, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he's only a 1-time All-Star, right?
2-time.
2-time? All right, so I gotta be real with you. I think the Phillies absolutely won this. I think this was absolutely an amazing decision to keep JT Realmuto, because I really do think, I mean, obviously you got Bryce Harper and you got Didi Gregorius, but I do think JT Realmuto and Reese Hoskins, I forgot about him, but I do think JT Realmuto is definitely a key factor to the Phillies team, and I think that is a guy they definitely need to keep in order to have success. But as for this, I think JT Realmuto is a top 3 catcher in the league. I'm being honest with you, and that's a bold prediction, but I truly do. I'm sticking to it because I think that he's a very underrated player, and I think that he needs to get a lot more respect than what he gets.
I can't argue. He is top 3 in the league, and maybe you guys can, but personally, I can't. It's just the truth. I mean, you look at the stats. Since 2018, he's had a WAR at 10.1. He's had almost 190 RBIs, 16 stolen bases. You don't see catchers stealing bases that many times because catchers, I'm going to be honest, are very slow runners. I've played with so many catchers in my time of playing baseball, and even now. And I got to be honest with you, I've only met one catcher that's almost as fast as I am. I'm a pretty fast runner. I'm not even trying to show off. So for him to have 16 stolen bases since in the last 2 seasons as a catcher, that's pretty impressive. And I'm not trying to take a shot at catchers, but a lot of catchers are they admit they're not fast runners. They're not people who steal bases all that often. It's been it's proven with so many other catchers that have played in the league. And by the way, he led all of MLB in catchers with those stats. He was second in slugging percentage with a .489 and an OPS of 825, and he's hit 57 home runs, which ranks third among MLB catchers since 2018. One thing that I actually missed out about this is that defensively, he has 11 runs saved over the past 2 seasons, which ranks 4th amongst catchers who have played more than 1,000 innings. That's incredible. That is really incredible. There's just so many more stats I can read you, but yeah, I think the Phillies really needed a guy like JT Realmuto. As a catcher, he's like absolutely incredible. He like you said, he can do all of everything. He can hit, he can catch, he can steal bases, which again, like I said before, that's something that's very rare out of a catcher. You don't see that a lot out of catchers. So it's good that he has that trait too, which obviously means that he's a fast runner, which again is another rare thing out of a catcher. Catchers don't really run. I'm just being real with you. They don't run that fast. I'm just being honest. But I really think aside from all that, the Phillies needed him because now you're in probably the most competitive division in the league with the Nationals. The Nationals are starting to come back and rebuild that team they had a couple years ago. The Mets are starting to rebuild from 2015, 2016. The Braves are still on top of their game, and the other team, the Marlins. I don't know about the Marlins. I mean, they have a bright future, but I don't think they're as competitive. Yeah, exactly. I don't think they're as competitive as the other 4 teams in that division. So really, the 3 teams they have to worry about are not the Phillies, the Mets, the Nationals, and the Braves. That's really about it. But those are really great teams right there, and 2 of those teams are starting to bounce back. And obviously, of course, those are the Mets and the Nationals. One thing, of course, the Phillies need to work on, like a lot of other teams, is pitching. But other than that, I think they got it. I think I got it set on defense, on offense, and JT Realmuto is a very key piece of this Philadelphia Phillies lineup. I think it's a really solid one. He joins Bryce Harper, Didi Gregorius, Rhys Hoskins. I think I'm missing someone. Correct. You can fill in me if I'm missing out on someone. And he's got a great manager in Joe Girardi. So, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So with that said, congratulations to the Philadelphia Phillies. Congratulations to JT Realmuto, and I'm excited to see this team play.